Started now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first session in our Women in Agriculture webinar series hosted by the RAID Network. RAID Network stands for Researchers in Agriculture for International Development. This session's theme is Leadership Journeys and Lessons Learned, and we have two wonderful speakers who will be sharing their journey today. First off, we'd like to say that we want to record this session. So if you're not comfortable with being recorded, please let us know in the chat. Or if you prefer to turn off your video, that's fine as well. I am Manita. I'm a PhD candidate studying irrigation technology adoption at Australian National University and capacity development team member as well, and your host for today from RAID. I have RAID members joining in. Please introduce yourselves and say in the chat what you do. You'll be seeing two RAID members today, Bridget, who will be monitoring the Q&A session and the chat for that. And we also have Anam, who will be introducing RAID shortly. I'm joining you today from the lands of Ngunnawal and Namri people. And I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land and pay my respect to elders past and present. If you've not already done this, and if you're just joining in, please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat and let us know where you're joining from and what time it is there, because we'd love to see people from different time zones joining in, if that's the case. So today's conversation will be a sharing session with two inspiring women leaders in agriculture. And I've had the pleasure of meeting and reconnecting with them during a masterclass last year. This was in a masterclass organized by the Crawford Fund, which is what RAID is a program of. We'll be hearing from Dr. Charity Osei-Amponsah from International Water Management Institute, Khana and Josephine Laka from the Food and Agriculture Organization in PNG. They'll be sharing with us today their leadership journeys, their experiences, both good and bad. And they'll also be sharing the advices that they've learned so that emerging professionals or mid-professionals or even just professionals in the field to get them going. After their talk, we'll have a Q&A session. So just a little bit of logistics is that you can post your questions at any time in the chat, and we'll ensure that we direct it to our speakers today. Now I'll be passing to Anam, who will be introducing RAID Network, and then we'll be starting off with the main event. Over to you, Anam.
Thanks, Manita, and thanks everyone for joining us. And I'm so much pleased to see so much diversity. It's mean we are on the globe, and we can rotate the globe and we can see which country is with us today, and really honored to see people around the world. And so as Manita mentioned before starting the formal session, we would like to give a very brief introduction what we are and what we do. So as we already know that RAID stands for Research in Agriculture for International Development. And this is actually a professional network of young and mid-career Australian-based researchers who are very much passionate about agriculture development, particularly in international setups, particularly. And this has been a program which is supported by Australian Centre for International Agricultural Research, ACIR, and a Crawford Fund. And although our aim is very simple, but this is very much powerful because can you please press next? So what we mainly do is we mainly deal with connecting the young researchers and engaging them and supporting them. And what we do is actually we connect the young or mid-career international development researcher who are mainly passionate for agriculture. We connect them through networking opportunities, giving some virtual sessions and in-person networking so they can connect and they can learn from each other. And we engage them through various platforms. For example, as Manita mentioned, she has been participating in a training program in Malaysia last year, and this was an opportunity where she could connect with a researcher around the world where she can learn and when she can be engaged. And also this was a supportive program initiated by the RAID of course, with the support from the Crawford. So this is what we do. And broadly, this is a networking opportunity where we can learn from experience of others. And particularly if someone is interested to dive in the international development situations where the challenges could be came across and where could be the opportunities. So I think the RAID is a great platform where we can be connected and be encouraged. So this is all about the RAID. You can learn more about RAID from the websites. And if you go in next slide, please. And uh, okay, so this is the intro for the speakers, but yes, we have a RAID websites and the newsletters. You can become a RAID member. You can become a RAID committee member. It depends on you which you are interested, and you can just chase up anywhere on the LinkedIn, Twitter. I think there's slides coming on the end of this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Anam, for that introduction. Now we'll dive into the main event like we're mentioning. So I would like to introduce our first speaker, who is Dr. Charity Osei-Amponsah. So, Charity is a senior regional researcher at International Water Management Institute based in Ghana. She leads work on water governance, gender transformative approaches, and building climate resilience. She also serves as a deputy country representative and coordinates the Resilience Against Climate Change Social Transformation Project. Charity holds a PhD in rural development sociology from Wageningen University and brings a rich background in research and policy engagement. She has been an inspiration for me since my IMI days, and I can't wait for all of you to be inspired from her journey. Over to you, Charity.
Thank you so much, Manita. Good morning from where I am now. I am based in Ghana office of UMI, but today I'm speaking with you from Nigeria because I had to come for my field work on a project that I'm working on. So I'm happy to connect with all of you over the world. Today, as has been said by Manita, I would like to share a bit of my research life and particularly how I am cultivating change for myself, but for others through my leadership adventures in agriculture research for development. And then there are some few tips of things that you could also do. Next, please. Next slide. Okay, that's fine. I can also talk through it from my side. Okay, so particularly I will talk about my career journey, some leadership roles, and then challenges I faced. And can you go back a bit? It's fine. Let's just stay here. So let me give a bit of background. So this is my personal background, and I want to tell you how it all started. So as a child, I have always been passionate about investigating people and things. So I would always be very observant and also watching what people do to be able to understand why they are doing what they are doing and what inspires them to do what they do. So I had that passion and that interest. And I grew up also in an agrarian environment. So for my early days where I was also in the rural area of Ghana, I saw a lot of agriculture going on. And that investigative eye got me thinking, okay, why don't I research into this area? So that brought me into agricultural science. But then I studied the sciences, so physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics. But then gradually I shift more from the core science into humanities with agriculture. So I started high school, continued through university, pursued agricultural economics for bachelor's and my master's. Then in my PhD days, I studied rural development sociology, but the degree was in agriculture related to rural development sociology. I have been in this space for roughly 20 years or more. Yes, next, please. Okay, I will talk a bit about the career journey. So the photo there is my earlier days, my PhD days, and I'm going to talk to you through this career, how I have traveled the journey so far. So I should say that the journey always starts with an interest. There should be that interest. So just the love for the questions of what, why, who, when, where, which, and how is what drove me on that journey. And I have been working particularly on the topics of agricultural innovation, systems and partnership, climate resilience issues, social transformation, gender, and social inclusion. But I must say that I love research. And so I can do research on any topic, even if it is hardcore research. It's just the ability to be analytical and think through the issues and to be able to come up with a research design and walk through its implementation. So that interest that is embedded in me is what has driven me on this path so far. I also like to facilitate workshops and also coordinate stakeholders, engage them, build partnerships. Of course, being a researcher, I like to write a lot, synthesizing the information and also doing a lot of writing. Next, please. So I will talk to you about my first steps into this space of agricultural research for development. With the passion and the education that I got, I have taught in schools. So my first teaching appointment was in a junior high school, which was after my bachelor's. And I did this because I got married very early and then I was pregnant and it was a bit stressful, but I did wanted to work also. So I took up this teaching job quickly. So it gives me time to close early and come home and be with my child and also to have the vacation from the school to stay home. I taught physics, chemistry, biology also in high school and some agricultural science. Then after that, I had this huge opportunity of joining a leadership mentorship from the African Women in Agricultural Research and Development. That is when I really discovered my leadership skills because there we were taught a lot of things. I had a mentor for 2 years and I really saw my potential in leadership. Next. So I want to now talk briefly or share with you some key things that I feel are milestones and achievements for me. Basically, from that fellowship, that mentorship fellowship, I felt like, okay, let me explore more. So I enrolled in a PhD program in Wageningen in the Netherlands. And then there we were a cohort of about 12 students. I explored my leadership skills, so I took up the opportunity to be their leader. And from there, I also moved on to have two postdocs continuing, one from the other, first in the Netherlands at the same university, Wageningen University. Then I went to Copenhagen, Denmark, Orbok University to do another postdoc. I came back to Ghana and then I worked for the government. So I worked for the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, the arm that is responsible for policy research. There I led some projects also. Then I moved on to International Water Management Institute. I still lead some projects, but then I was able, within the space of, let me say, 3 to 4 years, I was really promoted. First, I was a national researcher, then I became a regional researcher, a senior researcher, a senior regional researcher. I also had the opportunity to be the research group lead for the Water and Inclusion Research Group at UMI, where Manita also was. Now I am the deputy country representative. But if you ask me, how did all this happen? It's mainly about dedication, commitments, being honest. When you don't know something, you don't know, you are ready to learn, also through mentorship, then just showing up, just showing up and being consistent and telling that you can do what you have to do. Let me speak briefly to you about some leadership roles and how I am shining light for myself and for others. Next slide, okay. So my current leadership responsibilities. Currently, I sit on the chair for agricultural development partners in Ghana. So we have this platform of about 75 DPs. So these are the donors, the development partners all together, where we support the government with decision making. So it's a monthly platform meeting. I chair that meeting and I bring the dots together and we inform the government. We link up closely with the government to let them know where the decisions has to be taken for the agricultural sector. Where I am also, of course, managing projects and have oversight on some projects and partners and stakeholders within the activities that I implement. But most importantly, I also do supervise the social science researchers in the Ghana office. And also I provide some guidance for admin staff, interns, students. So I have quite a number of interns, but also students. So I'm about completing one project that had 18 students. There were 19. We lost one, unfortunately. And these students, we have 4 PhDs and now 14 masters. So most of them have completed. You see the photo there with the ambassador, the EU ambassador, because the EU funded that project. Most of them have completed their studies and they have graduated. So I give that leadership direction for these students and interns. But these are without challenges, right? We always face challenges in whatever we do. So I just want to talk to you about some of the barriers or hurdles that I go through, I still continue to go through. Today I want to share the barriers, my own barriers, so the barriers that I inflict on myself, I should say. So it's about creating that balance between my personal things and also the professional goals that I have, how to have that healthy balance. It's very difficult because sometimes I'm taking on so much and then there is no time for family and for myself. What I have learned is I just have to say no when it is no, and I could just be nice about it, but at the end I still have to say no and set those limits and boundaries so that I can have like the peace of mind to do work, but also have time for myself. There's also that challenge of gaining recognition. So you do so much, but you kind of try to hide, I should say. I don't know why, maybe also about my personality, because then I am sometimes not able to really put myself out there to show what I can do and what I have done. There's also that less networking and follow-up skills or spirit. I don't know, but I have had that challenge of trying to curl into my shell quickly. That has not been helpful, and you should not do it. Sometimes I'm questioning my own abilities and accomplishments despite evidence of success. So, I mean, like I said, these are my own barriers. There are barriers, external barriers that we face as researchers and women in agricultural research, but those ones you can manage. When it comes from you, your own fears, your own inabilities, it's very difficult because it becomes like the norm. It's within you, and addressing them can be challenging. That's why I focused on them today. But all is not lost, okay? There are bigger opportunities and things that you can do to make sure that you are not challenged in that space. There are a lot of big shoulders and big mentors and good people that you can really work with through this career and personal life journey. So I provide a few tips that could support you as you also walk through the journey of agricultural research. So next slide. Okay, the first thing I want to talk to you about is connection. Connect, build that strong support of networks. Find people, female researchers, male researchers, whether they are junior, they are senior, share experience, learn, collaborate. You cannot do it by yourself. You can't do it alone. You need somebody to inspire you. So seek for mentors, don't try to be in your small corner. Just look out for opportunities when there are calls for mentorship programs. Join, actively seek people who can help you champion your work and also provide you with good advice and help you navigate, all the politics we have in our institutions, in the office. There are people who have gone through it and they are seated with management and they can really bring your matter up when you need promotion and all that. I'm not talking about favoritism, but I'm talking about showing your wealth, and you need somebody who can also speak out for you. Then you need to develop your strong self-advocacy skills. Learn. We never finish learning. Learn to articulate your value. Like I'm saying, when you are in a workshop, you should go into that workshop with an agenda. Be there very, very strategic and say, okay, in this workshop, who is coming? Do your little research. What can I get out of it? And what should I bring out of that place? And go there with a pitch in your mind, get connected to somebody, be strategic about that, see which collaborator will benefit what you are doing, and link up with them. Follow up. When you network, you go somewhere, you talk with people, take contact, and when you are back, please reach out to them. Don't bring the call card and put it somewhere for like a year before you meet the person again. And you are like, oh, last year we met. Do you remember? It doesn't help. Follow up and get some concrete results from that engagement. Also prioritize your self-care. Like I said, research can be demanding. You can be doing all this field work and analyzing data, writing, and you never find time. But be intentional about it. You have to protect your mental health and also your physical health. You cannot be going and coming. Like I'm saying it, but I'm also advising myself at the same time. I mean, from the beginning of the year, from January, I have been traveling in country and also out country, and sometimes it's very, very stressful. So please don't do that. But most importantly, also document everything you are doing. It's very important. Have a record. Maybe get yourself a notes in your phone or in your iPad, computer, or if you like to write things down, get a notebook. Record everything that you are doing, your achievements, your publication, because a time will come when you will need them for your performance reviews and promotion applications. And it's not now that you are trying to remember, but I did this, but I did that. When you do that, you miss out some things, very important things, and then you are shortfall of what you should be presenting. And somebody who has documented everything will present his or her credentials, and then you don't get that promotion. So please try to document the things that you do. Understand the challenges that you are faced with. These are the external ones, the biases, and try to professionally address them. If you need help, seek help from a professional. If you need to talk to a psychologist or something, please don't be shy. Talk to people and get help. Also embrace your perspective. You are a woman, but you're also a researcher, and you have this unique additional skill that you bring on board into the agricultural research space. Please make use of that. Don't be afraid. Fear is not a good thing. It's a big barrier. So go all out there and show what you have. So I think basically I will just end with this slide. Also develop your leadership skills. Don't sit back and say, okay, this person should go. No, when there is opportunity, raise your hands, show up and help. It will help you to grow, because as we are doing research, we are also looking for positions to be able to manage research, not just do it. So show forth what you have and seek training opportunities, attend some of these training um, courses, for example, like the one that we attended at Comfort, the master class. Enter into some of these things and also seek and offer mentorship. As people mentor you, you should also mentor people, because as you do that, you learn a lot from the junior researchers. Of course, hands-on experiences are very critical in this space. So allow yourself to use your skills to work in the real world and foster your growth and your confidence. Don't hide. You have a lot to offer. And I show some methods of developing your skills that you can also follow. There are so many things that you can learn from the internet. Please do that. And don't tell yourself that you are not capable. You are more than enough. Go out there and show what you have, and you would be able to help solve most of the societal problems we have now. Thank you so much for your attention. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Charity. That was wonderful to hear from you. Some of the experiences that you've shared are definitely something that I and a lot of my fellow colleagues have discussed over numerous teas and coffees and dinners as well. So definitely a lot to learn from there. We'll reserve all the questions that are coming in the chat for the Q&A session after our second speaker has presented. So now we'll be moving to the second speaker, who is Josephine Laka. I connected with her during the Crawford Fund Masterclass as well, and what an inspiration she has been. I'll introduce her now. Josephine is highly experienced agriculture and rural development professional from PNG with over 20 years of experience. She has worked closely with smallholder farmers and indigenous communities, and currently works with FAO as an FPIC specialist. Her work focuses on biodiversity conservation, gender empowerment, and sustainable livelihoods. Josephine has also led several projects supporting women's skill training and inclusive development in rural communities. Now I'll pass to you, Josephine, for you to share your experience.
Thank you, Manita, and good afternoon from Papua New Guinea. Good morning or good day to you. Greetings from beautiful Papua New Guinea. I'm Josephine Laka, and today I'm excited to unpack my career in PNG agriculture. My career in PNG agriculture has been a rich tapestry of constant learning, leadership, and overcoming challenges and lessons. Join me as I unpack this experience and offer some insights for early career professionals. Next, please. Over the past years, I've built my career across agriculture, rural development, research, and community empowerment, working in diverse and often rural, remote communities in Papua New Guinea. My work has spanned roles in non-government organizations, international projects, and the private sector, where I have led multiple programs in food security, sustainable livelihoods, and agriculture value chains, including rubber, eaglewood, cocoa, vanilla, and fisheries. Throughout my journey, I've taken on leadership roles. I'm particularly passionate about gender equity and have consistently advocated for women's involvement and empowerment through every opportunity, living and working in communities, leading field extension, training and mentoring young professionals, or facilitating research that amplifies women's voices in natural resource management. My commitment remains grounded in collaboration, learning, and delivering results that make a lasting impact in rural communities. Next slide, please. My current role is working as Free Prior Informed Consent, FPIC for short, specialist with the Food and Agriculture Organization, working with Indigenous people in the Highlands provinces to ensure that communities fully understand any development project before giving consent. Currently, I am leading FP consultations for 9 conservation areas for the Global Environment Facility, GEF7 project in Papua New Guinea. Recently, I also participated in the Research Leadership Masterclass with the Crawford Fund, which strengthened my leadership and agriculture research in agriculture research. In collaboration with the provincial DAL and innovative agro industry, I have also led the Fly Vanilla Extension Program that covers the North Fly, the Middle Fly, and the South Fly, reaching over hundreds of vanilla growers and providing technical support. As a livelihood development program leader, I have managed multiple livelihood programs, which are rubber, eaglewood, vanilla, cocoa fisheries simultaneously. I lead all the field work on the ground. I've also led field research on an ACF-funded project and successfully completed the project in developing alternate small-scale fishery models for women in the Fly River in Western Province. My earlier work included life skills training for hundreds of landowner women of the Hidden Valley Gold Mine. And I've also been with the innovative agro industry farm, where I led all the groundwork towards meeting compliance for 9 Mile Farm, achieving HACCP certification. I have also developed and designed and implemented farmer field schools, piloted nutritional food gardens to address child nutrition and maternal health for women and children in selected communities in the Central and Gulf Province. These milestones reflect my commitment to rural development, gender equity, and sustainable livelihoods. Next slide, please. Throughout my journey, I have faced many challenges, but I'd like to share, excuse me, a few examples of how I've managed. Firstly, I've adapted to diverse environments. I follow farmers to the garden, to the rubber blocks, to the vanilla blocks, to the eaglewood block. Even in flooded conditions, in rain conditions, I am there. That is my passion to help everyone. And so in challenging times, I am there for them. The effect on this, you will win their trust and you will be able to work with ease in communities. I work in a male-dominated field and I have earned the trust of all the men that I work with. My strategy is to get all the families, get to know and to live and to be with the families of the men that I work with. Trust me, as a woman, this tip is a must do if you're if you are working in rural remote communities, even I say to be part of the family member. This has enabled me to work as a trusted co-worker and family member and has made work easy for me in a male-dominated field. As a woman, as a team leader, my leadership allows women to work alongside me in a male-dominated field. Culturally, in Papua New Guinea, women are considered not equal to men. My strategy is always to do awareness in communities that women, young girls, and youth have a voice, and they must be heard, ensuring gender equity and social inclusion in all my work. When you learn to accept the way of life in communities, you will receive full support from communities. Another example, not only in the field, but in the office, you will encounter not to be supported by your male co-workers. Once I was invited to attend a meeting at the University of Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia, supported by ASEA. My manager did not allow me to attend. I just accepted the decision and continued work as usual. Then another opportunity came for me to go to Slovenia, and they allowed me. So the learning here is don't just shut down when the answer is no or give up, because your manager is probably watching you. Learning to overcome decisions made them turn that down. Another opportunity will come, and this could also be a test to see how you handle work pressure. Like this, the answer was no, but I never gave up. Even the answer was no. So my advice to you, heads up and keep going. Another opportunity will come. Next slide. Another example I want to share with you. Earlier in my career, I encountered a slight hurdle in community that was work that was deeply disengaged due to a history of failed projects. I was determined to understand why. What I discovered was a complete disconnect. The projects simply weren't aligned with the community's true needs or desires. So I shifted my approach. I decided to focus on the women, bringing them together to teach them a practical life skill, sewing. The idea was to empower them to create clothes for themselves and their families, fostering a sense of ownership and immediate benefit. The response was nothing short of overwhelming. This seemingly small initiative had a profound ripple effect. Through the newfound motivation and trust built within the women's group, we were able to re-engage the entire community. They began rehabilitating their coffee farms and significantly improving cultivation practices. This experience taught me a powerful lesson. While expertise as a social scientist, extension worker, or researcher is vital, acquiring an additional seemingly unrelated skill can be incredibly transformative. It's not common, but it can be the key to unlocking real changes in communities, restoring peace, and genuinely improving livelihoods. My advice, be resilient, be adaptable, be open to truly listening, and most importantly, be willing to try something new. As you can see from my experience, the results are truly remarkable. Next slide. So know your values and strengths and your interests. This should be your compass. Earlier in my career, I recognized my passion for empowering rural communities and promoting sustainable livelihoods. It was a passion. When I was working and when I saw a farmer, I wanted to help. And not only help women, but also help everyone. That focus has guided every choice I have made, from food security programs to leading national level agriculture projects. Seek mentorship. I've been fortunate to be also to benefit under the Crawford Fund mentorship program. And so I've had to work alongside international partners like the CSIRO, the University of Queensland, and the Blue Forest Foundation. Be open to feedback. It helps you grow faster than you can imagine. Always be open, always learn. Develop other skills. In the case of the sewing skill, that was a passion, and I used that to help the community, whether training women in life or leading extension projects in rural, remote regions. I've seen how these skills create connection, trust, and long-term impact. Also embrace challenges. Obstacles are opportunities in disguise. I've worked in these rural communities, implemented projects in diverse environments, and led the initiatives like the Fly River Extension Project. Each challenge expanded my resilience and shaped my leadership skills. I've always been open to learning, and I've been named in 2024 as a ACL Learn Champion. I'm always improving my skills, not only through ACL Learn, but I also use the FAO Learn as well. So these are some avenues that you can also use to build your capacity as well. Champion inclusion. Truly, leadership uplifts others. Advocate for diversity to work with all. Create a space for those voices that cannot be heard and give them the opportunity to speak up. I've dedicated much of my work to empowering women and youth, from sewing trainings to leading the fisheries project and also the vanilla work. And lastly, never underestimate the power of hard work. Stay grounded, stay humble, and give your best every single day. That's how you build a meaningful career. Next slide, please. Next slide, please.
Sorry, Josephine. No, I've clicked the next slide, but it might be lagging for you. Give it one more second.
Is that working for you, Josephine, now, or?
Bridget is controlling the slides, so I'm hoping that she can change the slide.
Yeah, sorry, Josephine. We've got it up on as your key takeaways. Is that the slide that you were hoping for?
Yeah.
Is that what you can see?
I can see, yes, that's the last. Thank you. As we wrap up, I want to share a few key takeaways from my leadership journey and some lessons that continue to shape how I work and grow. Firstly, leadership is a journey of continuous growth, learning, and adaptation. And so always be open to adapting new challenges and growing through your experience. Success is built on resilience, collaboration, and a commitment to making a difference. In my case, whether I was rolling out an extension program or attending meetings, it was resilience and teamwork that carried the projects forward, especially when working with remote communities. Empowering others and youth creates lasting impact. This has been a rewarding part of my career, training over hundreds of women and mentoring agriculture graduates in the workplace. Supporting small livelihoods weren't just projects, they were steps towards creating empowered communities. When we uplift others, especially those that are often left out, the effects are ripple and it's powerful and lasting. Never stop learning. I look forward to continuing learning, and so I encourage you to always, no matter where you are in your career stage, always look for opportunities to build your capacity. And finally, it's in teaching others that we truly learn, whether mentoring or sharing knowledge with local farmers. I've grown the most when I've taken the time to teach and guide others. It sharpens my understanding and it builds a stronger and more capable team. These are values that I carry with me every day, and I hope they resonate with you as you chart your own leadership path. Next slide, please. As I close, I want to thank the organizations that have played a crucial role in shaping both my professional journey and personal development. The Innovative Agro Industry Limited, Hidden Valley Gold Mine, Teddy Foundation, and the Food and Agriculture Organization. Each of these organizations have left a lasting imprint on my journey. I carry their values and the lessons and the impact with me every day. Thanking you all for believing in me and continuing to support my growth. I also want to express my heartfelt gratitude to ASEA for allowing me so many opportunities to build my capacity through ASEA Learn, the Crawford Fund, and the RAID Network. Thank you for the opportunity to share my journey. It's been a privilege. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you so much, Josephine. So much to learn from there as well. One of the things that is on top of my head right now is seeking out opportunities and how we can find those opportunities as well. And those questions kind of resonate on what we are getting in the chat as well. Bridget, do you want to direct questions to one or both of our speakers? And yeah, from picking them out from the chat.
Yeah, brilliant. And what I might do right now is I'll stop sharing screen for a second so we can all see each other. But yeah, we do have some great questions in the chat at the moment. I think one of the first ones that came through for you, Charity, was you both talk a lot about mentoring and how important it is to find a mentor. But sometimes when you're in your early career stage, it's tricky to find that mentor. So some tips and tricks from both of you on how you go about finding that person that you can connect with and then can champion you and your career.
Thank you so much, Bridget, and thank you for the person asking the question. So for me, the first mentor I had was within the program. So the African Women in Agricultural Research and Development program. And I was supposed to find a mentor that would help me for that fellowship. So I looked for somebody in that space of work who was an agricultural economics and who has really achieved much. So I was younger at that time. So I got that person and we did the 2-year mentorship. But subsequently, anytime I find someone in my space and I know that this person can be useful to me, I walk to the person. For example, when I came to UMI, I saw my country representative as a woman who has achieved much, who will be able to guide me. So mentorship is a two-way traffic thing. It's not just hearing, but also telling about what you are doing and getting that feedback and taking the feedback and working on it. So I approached her. I went to her office. I sat down. I said, listen, I really admire what you do. And I think that if you become my mentor, I will achieve a lot. So guide me in the work, even as I have come here. And so far, that's what has happened. and it works. She really was happy and she just accepted it like that. She was like, wow, really? You think I am good to be your mentor? I was like, yeah. So, yeah, please, if you find somebody you think you connect with, you like what the person is doing, just approach the person and ask. Thank you.
Yeah, brilliant. I think it's getting to that point of putting yourself out there and also just following things that feel good, and then collaborations become quite easy, like you were saying. Josephine, did you have anything to add to that? Because you also talk a bit about mentorship in your chat, also about mentoring and making sure that you give back, but also finding mentors. Yeah, did you have anything to add to what Charity has said?
I'd like to just add on there and say sometimes, yes, it's difficult to find a mentor, but what worked best for me was just working hard. And through the ACR project, I had, because my expertise is in agriculture, I did not have any expertise in fisheries. And so ACR, through the collaboration, had to quickly build my capacity, and so that I could do lead the field work throughout the Fly River. And so at the same time on working on the project, I had mentors assigned to build my capacity. And because I was open to learning, I quickly was able to embrace all the new material, the training I was receiving. And then that led to the Crawford Fund Mentorship Program, which I became a mentee, and I had a mentor assigned from the University of James Cook, a brilliant professional in fisheries and livelihoods. And at the same time, I was also a graduate mentor in my workplace. So it was all learning for me to be a mentee and be a mentor. So it all happens. It just all happens if you eager to keep on building your capacity. You'll get recognized for that, and opportunities do come to you. So that's how I learned through my journey.
Thank you both. So the next question is around, and especially of interest for early and mid-career researchers, where we face a lot of challenges and we're very confused about how to navigate those. Could you both share an example of, the challenges that you faced and how you overcome those? Maybe Charity, you can go first, and then Josephine.
Okay, thank you. I'm not sure if I had the first part, but we're supposed to share a specific challenge. Challenge
Yeah.
of what?
Yeah, so Camilo
Any
has
challenge at
asked,
all?
yeah, any challenges you faced at the early days in your journey, and how did you overcome those?
Okay, thank you so much. So I think for me in the early days, like I said, I don't know what I was thinking, but soon after my bachelor's, I got married. So it was more about, how do I manage myself as a young person, married, pregnant, and also really build my career. So I was confused most times at the office of how do I grow, because I had to be asking for permission and going to the clinic and all that. And it did not look like I was a serious person. So what I did was to work hard when I have extra times to show the value instead of rather talking. I made sure that my reports are of good quality and I really show the work that I'm capable of doing. So putting out my skills there and not focusing so much on my, if you like, my marital situation. So I also got inspiration from my director at the time. She was a woman, and I think she could feel my tension. So she sat me down and she spoke to me. I remember very well what she said. She said, it's not a bad thing that you are married at this age and you are working also. What you need to do is to be focused. So focus on the two. When you are doing the other, put all your strength there And then when you finish, go to the other and make sure you excel at both. So I felt a bit comfortable, and that's where I managed the two things. Thank you so much.
Josephine, would you like to share any challenges that you faced that you can think of now? And if there's anything that you can share from your experience that we can learn from?
Thank you, Manita. I've shared two examples already, but I'll share another one which I'd like to also talk about, since it's women in leadership. And I too was at a very young age, I became a mother, and I'm a mother to 5 children, and I'm also a fly-in, fly-out work in an area where I leave my family, and I have gone out. And many times I hear the younger generation say, "Oh no, I cannot make that decision to leave my children and go fly out and go work in rural, remote communities." Now, we all have different backgrounds, and you have to make a choice, a decision that's good for yourself and for the family. And for me, what worked out well was because I had great family support that were able to look after my children, and that enabled me to leave my family and be able to work in rural communities and focus completely on development. And that's from my experiences, especially women. And I try to encourage younger women. You have to make a choice that is best for yourself and for the family, and be able to adapt to that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, brilliant. I think, yeah, thank you so much, both of you, for giving some really honest reflections there. And something that I think that I've just learned as well, that that you're both superwomen, and we can all aspire to be both of you in work like this. We might, for the sake of time, have a question, one last question for you both. The one to Josephine. Was that you talked a lot about trust in your presentation, and you talked about the ways that you came to build trust, and you did that through looking at previous projects and being able to find the flaws in those previous projects to then be able to kind of understand and build upon that. Could you give a few insights into how you go about looking at previous projects and looking at why trust wasn't built and why they failed? Is that?
I'd share my experience again from working here in rural communities. In a sense, where in my country, Papua New Guinea, we have we have more so a really high rate of illiteracy. And in working in with people with different educational levels, you cannot just go as a learned person and start to train something which it won't work. And learning from living, my strategy was moving into communities and living with communities, and first identifying what's on the ground. Get to know the people, get to know the custom, the culture, get to know the livelihoods, and see and learn what worked, what did not work in the past, and from that lesson, try to work with the people to understand and get their perceptions into what interests they have. It takes time because development is about people. And so you have to understand people to deliver livelihood projects that can help communities meaningfully.
Mm-hmm.
And so it wasn't a quick a way to get development working. I had to fully understand the situation on the ground and being like passionate about helping everyone and living in the communities, with no network, even if there's no toilet facility, if there is no water, no food, there's always a way that you will win the hearts of communities and villages if you live with them and you are able to adapt to their way of style. That's the approach, my strategy that I took in working here. And therefore, I was always highly recommended into making and moving and being able to manage multiple projects at once. I hope that answered your question.
No, that's a brilliant answer to the question. And I think that actually leads us quite well onto the question for Charity, because you talk about, Josephine, just saying this idea of development, it's about people, and it's never a quick fix, right? It's not about technical skills most of the time, even though they're really important. Yeah, development is a slow process if we want to get it right and if we want to get it done meaningfully. We had a question in the chat for you, Charity, that was about someone saying that they want to transition into humanities and into social science, and they see that that is a career path that they'd like to move into, but they're quite scared about doing that and they're daunted. So they were looking for any tips and tricks on how you transition from the natural sciences into humanities.
Okay, so a very quick answer. I think that for me, it was about passion.
Yeah.
What are you committed to? Because I started off with the sciences. I liked it. I understood everything, but I was driven by addressing the societal problem. I'm not saying the sciences will not do that, but I wanted to feel the people, being there with them in the field, hearing what is going on, understanding and providing that solution, coming together and co-designing things, and also ensuring that the solution is coming from all of us. I think it was mainly interest that drove me to do the transition. So you really have to be sure of what you want to do, your passion, what makes you happy, because out there, it's a bit stressful with the research and everything and work and family issues. So if you don't have something that really drives you, you would always feel tired and even feel bored alongside. So please be sure of what is really driving the transition. And if you are happy with that, you are passionate, please go ahead. But if you are not sure, then you have to really think through it and be sure that this is really what I want as a person. I really want to go this direction, and just do it. That's where you will find your happiness and you'll be fulfilled for life. Thank
Yeah,
you.
brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. And I think that, yeah, that might be a nice point for us to wrap up the question time with. And I guess a reflection for me listening to you both is like you just said, this idea of passion driving you to do better. And then also for you, Josephine, talking about passion and bringing your passion to projects, and that can really help you build trust. So I think if that's the big takeaway that we have today, is that, yeah, passion will drive you to do the best job you can within this field. So I might now, give it back to Manita to finish up. But yeah, thank you again so much.
Thanks so much, Bridget and Charity and Josephine, for that wonderful Q&A session. Definitely a lot of things that you shared and even answered during Q&A resonated with me, but at the same time, the balancing between personal and professional is also very important, is what you said, Charity. So I'd definitely like to stress on that as well. So with that, as we close, I want to thank both of you, Charity and Josephine, for your reflections and sharing. A lot of things that you've shared definitely has been an inspiration, and we'll definitely contact you some more to get more on the personal level as well. I'd like to thank everyone who have participated as well in the webinar. The questions that you've shared have definitely been very reflective and a lot to learn from there as well. A big thank you to Bridget and Anam as well for being the supporting and very active webinar organizers today. But beyond that, our great team members as well for making this webinar possible. We hope this session definitely sparked some new avenues for you to, think about, and hopefully there were some encouraging points. As well as you venture your journey in agriculture. We will have some more sessions as part of this same webinar series. So we would love to have you in those future sessions as well. Please stay connected with RAID. Please visit our socials, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook as well. We'll have these announcements on those spaces. So with that, I'd like to again thank everyone, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much for having us. Bye-bye.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.